Welcome back to another episode of our first time playing Farming Simulator. We're playing on hard mode with all the difficulties turned on, seasonal growth to limit year-round planting, and the prices for selling all products are significantly less than in the other easier modes. We've also stopped doing contracts on the playthrough just to increase the difficulty and increase reliance on our own land. So let's see how we're surviving. Last time, we had just finished selling some silage bales to get a little bit of cash because we were almost flat broke, and we also mowed our grass. We've been doing quite a bit of work on our grass field to try to get some immediate revenue going because we're in bad need of some more equipment. We're going to be needing a second sheep barn soon. We need a new tractor. Basically, we need a lot of stuff. Now, fortunately, we have a second crop of silage bales loaded on the trailer and lined up neatly on the side of the field, but they are not going to be fully fermented and ready to sell for at least another month. The next step is then to go ahead and get this freshly mowed grass all baled up into silage bales and let that start fermenting. Now, one of the pieces of equipment we really need to buy is a good silage baler, because we're again gonna have to rent a baler to do this work, and they're not cheap. It's costing me a minimum of $5,000 each time I do the rental, and that's really eating into our profits. So I think one of the next items we need to buy is the silage baler. But we need to raise about $100,000 to afford the one we want. So it's gonna take a lot of work and careful planning to be able to do that in short order. Like I said in the intro, the prices for everything in hard mode are pretty suppressed, so cash doesn't flow in as readily as it would otherwise. But it's okay. I welcome that challenge.
Because that challenge is one that we're willing to accept.
And it's really the way I like to play games. But it's getting pretty late in the day, so let's finish baling this field and get everything stacked up neatly off to the side. The other thing we keep needing to rent for our grass fields is a roller. It doesn't cost nearly as much as the baler, so we can wait a bit on that one, but it also is on the list of things we need to buy to be self-sustaining on these fields. And we need to get this done as soon as we can. We've become the very dedicated farmer by farming at the end of the night. All right, the rolling is done. This is a good roller and the one we'll want to buy eventually, but we'll get this folded up and return back to the dealership. While we're here, we'll fix up the tractor and its components. We seem to be in a continual state of fixing our tractor after every use, but we have no choice. It's the only one we've got, and we're nowhere near being able to afford to buy a new one. And with that, I think we'll pass the day into tomorrow, because we're done with today's chores. It's a new day, and it's time to sell our silage we baled up in the prior episode. The bales we just made yesterday, or the previous month as the game clock goes, won't be ready for a couple more months. But these others we can sell. And we need to. We've spent a lot of money in rentals, repairs, and paying back bank loans, and we're back down to about $3,000 from the $13,000 we started the episode with. But we have all these bales on the trailer to sell, as well as some lined up on the side of the field. So this should be very good for the bank account. Very nice, $19,500. Let's go get the other bales loaded up and sold as well. On the way, I checked the prices of everything, and the eggs need to get sold right now. The price is starting to drop. We can't wait. So before we get the trailer loaded down with bales, we'll take care of our eggs. And I have to say, the chickens are doing their job. 2 pallets worth $3,600. Very welcomed. Now, let's get back to those bales. Okay, the bales are all loaded. We'll finish strapping these down, but we need to wait just a little bit. The price of silage is still going up, and for the rest of the day, we don't have much work to do. So we might as well pass some time, watch the sale price, and try to sell them for just a little bit more. Okay, the price is really good. We could wait a little longer, but we won't be overly greedy. We'll take them over to the livestock place and collect our money. I'll also say that I like the game physics where pulling a loaded trailer adds that extra drag on the tractor. It really adds to the game. But this little tractor once again is living up to expectations, even as old as it is. Almost $13,000 more dollars. Just amazing and very welcomed. And while we're out and about, we'll go over to the train depot where our canola has been waiting patiently in the silo for months. We'll call the train and get that sold as well. It's a big bonanza of selling today, and I'm very happy about it. There we go, almost $28,000, bringing our total at the moment to nearly $68,000. It feels so good after having only $138 in the bank at the last episode. But we'll just pass time into December and get ready for new business. All right, it's a new day and I've decided to break into a new industry. I bought a chainsaw and I want to see if I can cut down a few of these decorative trees that are on the edge of my property when I bought it. I don't even know if you're able to cut these things down, but I figured I'd spend $1,000 to buy a chainsaw to see what I can do. And maybe make some extra money. It would probably be well worth it if it works. Well, it took a bit of tinkering with it, and at first I thought I couldn't cut these trees, but I finally got the hang of it and our first tree is coming down. These are oak trees, and from what I've been able to understand, they require a lot more manual labor with the chainsaw to trim off the extra branches and to get all the smaller pieces loaded. Now, this first tree is what I think is a medium-sized tree. It's 9.3 meters in length, and the one right next to it is quite a bit longer, so it must be a large tree. I have some other trees over by the greenhouse that are around 5-meter mark, and so I'm assuming those would be considered small oak trees. My plan here is to cut a couple of these trees, one at a time, get some practice with the chainsaw, go sell them, and see what kind of profit I can make. And that'll give me an idea of not only what I can make from the decorative trees, but maybe also help me make a decision about whether I want to plant any trees or not. Oak trees might be best turned into wood chips because of all the hand cutting required, but I don't have a wood chipper and I can't afford to get one. So we're going to test this out bit by bit. And I'll first start by selling just the branches of this medium-sized tree and see what those are worth. Okay, not much, about $60. But that's $60 we didn't have before. So let's go get the trunk and see what that's worth. I'm trying to keep my investment at a minimum on this tree thing. So we'll see if I can get this big trunk loaded with the pallet fork and off to the sawmill. $323. And I was expecting more, but I've also heard that different trees seem to have different optimal lengths for selling. We'll just play with that and see. But for now, it's back to the one large tree we have. Get that cut and sold to see what we're really talking about with the trees. Because any trees I would plant, I definitely let grow to their full size. I got a wild idea before doing that. Maybe it was just the snow making me crazy, but I wondered if I could cut any of the trees on unclaimed property. I know I can't cut on other owned property, and I'm sure this is just a big waste of time, but I have to find out. A big part of this playthrough for the first time is just checking out a lot of different possibilities and seeing what I can do. So the answer is no. No cutting down trees in the park, just as I expected. We'll do a couple quick chores before tackling the big tree though. We need to get these pallets of lettuce moved off to make sure there's plenty of room for new lettuce to spawn. And the chickens are looking a little bit hungry. So while we're over at the greenhouse area, we'll pick up a scoop from our barley pile and top off our chickens. They really are well-behaved chickens, so it's much deserved. We'll even top off the water in the greenhouse, and we might as well just get everything done we need to while we're in this area and have plenty of time. It's just a little after 10 in the morning, lots of daytime left. We'll go get this large tree cut down and make it into slightly shorter pieces, but we'll get this whole thing loaded up on the trailer, branches, trunk and all, and see what kind of profit we can make from a large oak tree. What a beautiful stack of logs. Let's just hope they're worth a nice sum of money at the sawmill. Okay, here we are. Now let's just cross our fingers and hope for the best. Wow, 1,761. Now that's the kind of profit I was hoping for, and it's definitely making me think I should look into planting some trees to help bring in some extra money. But for that, you'll have to wait until the next episode. Thanks for watching, hope you enjoyed, and I'll see you next time.